little bits. Okay, so with the whole like christening the ship and all that, I mean, yeah, I mean it's kind of cool and fun. It's turtles, so it works well enough. That's the best way to describe it. But the weird part about look, also all I have to say, but I do something which I really enjoy, um, which I think I remember in episode with Leatherhead, when Mikey was going down to build the archway and all that kind of stuff. I like how they built up to this kind of thing. I thought that's really great to actually like have a build payoff. And the annoying thing and the downside to this, something which is going to annoy you a lot, they only use the total sub one more time, and
Really?
yeah, and in the next appearance, it gets blown up. So
Oh, come on. It's such a good little invention, and now it gets
yeah,
wasted.
so yeah, I'd say that like it's just so nice. It has so much potential, like to do some interesting things. But and also like and we do have like some episodes where we do take like the show tells on like, sea adventures. So it's annoying that they don't do anything with it. But yeah, and then another thing which I find extremely weird. With the sub with how big it is, it can only fit two people in. I find that to be rather strange, considering that it's Donny and he likes to build things and all that kind of stuff. I don't understand why he didn't build a bigger one or could be able to fit more people. I do find it to be quite strange. I mean, like, there's so many like occasions here where I'm just wondering, like, how didn't this thing break? Because like the milk got into all these circuits and all that. That should have gone then, and then like, Mikey was pressing all the different buttons to make the thing go into the water. And then even when it got into the actual sub itself, it was just pressing all buttons. Which, I mean, how did it not break? That's the best question I really got asked about that. So yeah. Okay, so after that we do get to see Donnie and Mikey. They're exploring the ocean. Anything to say about that bit there?
Like I said, I really did like how they've developed this environment for like the underwater scenes, because this is like, sure, you've got the underground, which is pretty cool, but then the underwater scenes, we don't really know much about what's surrounding the Hudson and all that. But I thought it was really cool just to see it in a different light. Like they're underwater, they're exploring the seabed and all that. And I just thought it was really cool just to see this different environment, seeing all the old ships, like they saw the old whaling ship from like the old times of New York when it was being developed. And then, of course, we get to see this whole mess of all this garbage just littering the floor. And I just thought it was really cool. Just like they've developed this scene and just how just how it looks, like how they've made it look like it's underwater.
Yeah, I'll just say that like it's weird just because like just like what I was saying at the beginning or this review with the opening bit. I do enjoy how this bit here we are exploring like new locations, new environments, and it looks like really nice. The downside it is that it does have a blue hint of it, but it's understandable because it's in the water and all that kind of stuff. But it's just annoying because it look. I'll be very curious to see like I want to see like a lot more of this place because it looks like really interesting, fascinating, and it's so annoying like we don't get to explore it even more. But yeah. But after that, we do get to see a truck is driving on the floor, so the turtles go after it, and then that's when that's gonna accidentally get eaten up by one of the machines. What do you think about that bit there?
Um, to be honest, this is what killed me in watching this episode. This is where my realism for the underwater scene just went when the underwater truck was just driving around on the seabed, and I'm like, hold on a minute, aren't we supposed to be underwater right now? How is there a car driving on the bottom of the seabed? I'm like, this doesn't add up because a car uses a combustion engine, and unless it's electrified, which I wouldn't recommend because then that will just make it electrified, and anyone inside that thing would just be electrocuted. And it's just a car underwater just driving. I know it's got the thrusters and all that, but to which you can do, but it just got rid of the realism, like it was underwater, because it looked like it was on land, but then you realize, hold a second, it's underwater. How is this car operating? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I have to say, like this, like it was cool to see like a little mystery to all this kind of stuff. But it's just a bit because yeah, it did take away like the way of the realism with the car sort of flying in a way and tentacles destroying everything. I mean, I wasn't too bothered by that, but I just think like it's just because like this bit here that um they're seeing it and like, oh no, all that kind of stuff, but it looks so much like the like garbage truck van, like, and then click onto that. I don't understand that because in fact it's doing all this stuff. It I feel like it would have made a lot more sense if they had guessed that because of everything, but yeah, I'd say that overall it was a decent scene that does set up a lot of mystery and does actually get the plot moving. So that's when we do get to see the turtles. They've entered the Jungle City. Okay, so first of all, what do you think about this new location that the turtles are in this city that Garbage Man's built?
I thought this is. I'm a bit of a sucker for like all like Atlantis and underwater sort of stuff, like the mythical. And of course, this is very much heavily inspired of Atlantis. Like it's in the name, Junglantis. And I really did like how they put a twist on this. Like they made their own Atlantis under the river. It was really cool. Like it's a new environment. It's like built with junk that's been salvaged or taken from the ships. And I just thought this is so cool because I'm such a sucker for this. I love how that like underwater exploration and all that. I love it. So this is why this is quite a really cool scene for me and a cool environment to be in because it's all underwater exploration, underwater adventures. I love it. And so I thought this was really cool how they've just built this underwater city and they're constantly building stuff like a factory and it's a fully operational city under the sea. And I just thought, wow, this is so cool. And so that I really did like this, and this is why I put this episode so highly on my list because it explores this like whole new area of like possibilities, like an underwater city. They've got guards, they've got their own military, their own factory, their own weapons. These people could do some real damage if they're not stopped. And this is kind of reminding me like a bit of a James Bond movie, you know, like the James Bond villains under the water. He's planning his next step and all that. It just was really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say that I think that the idea sounds a lot more interesting and fascinating than the actual what's the word, execution of the idea, because I didn't really think too much of the city. I just felt like it was just some underground base that just had some people in like garbage outfits and all that kind of stuff. I felt like had I actually gone through like a lot more of the whole city aspects of things, I do feel like this could have been like a very interesting and fun concept, and especially with add a lot more mystery of like, oh yeah, like maybe like Ghost Man isn't so even, all that kind of stuff. I felt like there was a lot more they could have done with this idea of the whole junk city. But but like what they get to see, it just felt like it was just like another random base that was at. It didn't have anything special about it, and I feel like the execution was just so disappointing because there was so much they could have done with. Because I think that does make a bit of sense because it didn't really seem like a city.
Yeah, good point. Like, I understand where you're coming from. Like, it's not really much of a city. It's like filled with junk. There's no like actual housing or like places. It doesn't show that much, but I, I'm not too sure.
I just think for like the name and the concept of what like it could have been is a lot more fascinating and interesting, and it's so much better than what I actually did get to see.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. Okay. So after that, we're told to actually meet the garbage man, and well, there's not really too much there really. Well, I can't remember too much what really happened in this bit. So yeah, what do you think about that bit? There? Oh, no, okay. First of all, what do you think about garbage man's new look? Because that was quite a drastic change.
Yeah, no, definitely. Garbage Man's new look. I wasn't well. I kind of clearly realize it was already the garbage man himself. Because one, there's the junk troopers. They're wearing their iconic yellow, which the garbage man wears, and he proudly shows because that's his like color scheme. And I at first was thinking, oh, what's this? Is like a crab sort of person? Is he a mutagen, a mutated crab or something? But no, it's the garbage man. And of course, I thought it was really cool to see Garbage Man's new look. He kind of looks like a king crab sort of thing, like a crab. So he's like adapting to this underwater life with his crab-like legs. He can move around with his crab-like jaws. And he's very much like a crab. He's adapting to his underwater surroundings, and it was pretty cool just to see him in his new environment and how he's adapted so well after his demise on the Garbage Island. So I thought it was really cool. And I did like his little captain hat as well, which he took from the first scene in the episode from the captain as well. So I thought it was really cool just to see Garbage Man in this new light. Like he's adapted well to this environment and he's like more powerful than he ever was on the surface.
Yeah, I'd say that his new look was. I I don't know if it was an upgrade, just because there are certain aspects which I do enjoy about his new look, and with like some of the concept art for his next appearance, which he never got to make, I do feel like it would be like a very like good natural progression of his character with his looks, and I'll say that overall it is like a fun, nice little upgrade with the little legs. I do feel like there was a lot more they could have done because I'm thinking look, with that kind of thing, you could give him like the robot pincher kind of things. I felt like there's a lot more they could have played into with his whole design kind of thing. But I do feel like at the same time, I do feel like, because I do like his new like robot legs, but at the same time, I feel like his like scooter thing was a lot more powerful, a lot more threatening with the arms in the back and all that kind of stuff. This just doesn't really feel too threatening when you just realize it's just some legs. So I feel like there's some good bits and some bad bits. Also, I don't remember his eyes being so red. Um, was that just me? Because I don't remember them being that red, but yeah, actually, I could double check because I don't remember them being that red. Um, okay, so Garbage Man. So from the looks of things, I can't tell if he. Oh no, he did. Oh,
I thought he had red eyes in the first place.
well, yeah. Well, it has been a very long time since I've watched that episode. Watched it last year for the podcast. Uh,
God, was it last year when we last watched it?
yep.
Wow, that is. Wow, that has certainly been a while then.
Time flies.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
yeah,
mad.
Um, so after that, the Turtles are put into or about to go to jail, but they break out to fight them. I just say with this bit annoyed me. Like, if they had the opportunity to do that, why didn't they do that sooner?
Maybe they wanted to find out a bit more, like they wanted to know about the facility a bit more before they attacked, something along those lines.
Yeah, but they didn't. Like, they didn't find anything out. They got up to the like the door and like, Mikey, we should do that thing we should talked about doing earlier, and then they do it and then just walk off. It I felt like there was like a lot of opportunities they had to do the exact same thing, but a lot earlier.
Uh, yeah, I guess so. I'm not too sure why. Maybe I don't know why they didn't do it earlier. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
That I
uh,
don't know. I can't explain their actions in this one, unfortunately.
yeah, and it's just like what I was saying earlier, where just like it feels like things are happening and going at a very fast pace. Because uh, uh, if this scene felt weirdly unnecessary, but they do put on the clothes which look cool enough. And we did get him go into the Garbage Man's base and find out his plans, and he wants to take over a cruise ship. And one of the weird bits is like Garbage Man goes, yes, we're going to take over the cruise ship," and Dawn goes, "Cruise ship?" um, yeah, did anything say about that a little bit there?
To be honest, I am a bit annoyed that he was targeting a cruise ship. I thought he was going to be attacking like I don't know, like a bigger ship, like a cargo freighter carrying some like valuable jewels or something, or maybe even like a military ship to like steal all the weapons and all that, or steal the resources, something a bit more. Like a cruise ship is filled with innocent civilians, and sure, they've got a lot of resources, like they've got food, water, supplies, and every other type of resource that you want. But it's just a bit underwhelming. You're like, you have all this power, you have all these resources, but you want to go after a cruise ship. Like, surely you have bigger targets, surely you have bigger prizes to. You have bigger fish to catch, as I would say, but it's a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, what I don't even know what to really say about it. It's just because he's a garbage man. And it just it partly feels like it is kind of his thing, but at the same time, it doesn't really feel like his plan. Like, because after what we saw in the last episode with him, where he was going after the homeless people to recycle the garbage to make his own little island. So then going into this episode where he's trying to take over cruise ships to get their wealth, it feels out of character, you know, like very drastically as well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so after that we do get to see the turtles. Yeah, I mean they fight the garbage man. Okay, yeah. So we're talking about the fight scene. Because I mean, I say like now we're really struggling for things to talk about here, or is that just me?
To be honest, I really did enjoy this episode, so I have a lot to talk about. But I really did enjoy the fight scene. Like it was something different. Like I don't like to see repetitive fight scenes. Like I like to see something new every time. It keeps me engaged with the actual episode itself. But this fight scene I thought was pretty cool. We got to see the garbage man again, and we got to see this whole different environment, and we got to see Mikey and Donnie fight together, which we never really see the two brothers away from Don. Excuse me, getting my turtles mixed up. Leonardo and Raphael. So I thought it was really cool to see those two fight and work together because we always see like Raphael and Leo, but we don't really see much of Donnie and Mikey. So this was really cool to see them fight and how to use the resources that they have without their weapons. And I thought that was really cool because they were using the oxygen tanks to defeat the garbage man. So I thought that was really cool because it shows their ingenuity and their ability to adapt to change, as in their ninja training, as Splinter taught them. So I thought that was really cool how they enveloped that sort of sense and that work ethic into that fight scenes. Like a turtle, a ninja is equipped to deal with any situation with or without weapons.
Yeah, I have to say that like with the interactions between Donnie and Mikey, I did enjoy that quite a bit, just because it was something different. Well, yeah, I say different and something a bit more unique. And I would definitely like to see like these two characters interact a lot more. I do feel like Donnie is definitely given the shorthand in this series, and he doesn't really have too many episodes where he's able to interact fully and get like good scenes. Um, I mean, I'd say like my favorite interaction is just like Raph and Donnie in this series. I think those two have a really great interaction, but they don't really show it all too much. So, like seeing like Donnie get some love here and actually show him interacting with another character, it was pretty cool. I can't deny that it was like really great to see him interacting and showing off different sides of them, such as like Mikey being more of the geek and Donnie having a bit more of a fun personality. It feels a bit weird with all that kind of stuff. But I just say that like with the fight scene, I mean, I just say for me, I don't think there's really like all too much really here. Just because it did feel more or less like the same sort of stuff we should have seen before, where we're just picking and throwing around people, and then to just get real garbage man, they just put on a oxygen tank underneath him and send him flying up into the sky to uh, like should have given him brain damage or something along those kind of lines.
Yeah, would have cracked his skull open like an
Yeah,
egg.
yeah, and nothing happened, and then just walk away with it. I feel like because I do feel like had the main garbage man more of an actual threat other than just giving him some legs, I do feel like this could have been a much more interesting fight. And I do feel like with the whole water surrounding, I do feel like there's a lot of like opportunities there which they could have made the whole environment become the danger and all that kind of stuff. But it feels like there was just there quick deal with him, get out, and then go on to the next bit. I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunities here. Um, but after that, we do get to see a pretty decent scene where we do get to see the turtles. They're having a chase scene with the garbage man. So what about that bit there?
When the turtles like are finally out and in their submersible and all that, and they're having that sort of chase scene with the garbage man with his own like escape pod and all that, I thought that was really cool because at first I thought the garbage man was out for the count. He's knocked out, unconscious, and he's probably got some brain damage after being flown up into the hull of the ship and his skull just cracking open like an egg. But nope, he's somehow survived and he's now floating around in his little submarine escape pod, whatever you want to call it. And I thought it was really cool because they're having like a fight scene, like a dog fight underwater in these two submersibles. And of course, it was pretty cool to see how the garbage man goes straight in to attack, like ramming speed into them, whilst Donnie has a bit more like sophistication with his like weaponries, depth charges, torpedoes, like countermeasures. I thought that was really cool. And to be honest, I was a bit surprised that Donnie would pull something like this. Like when the garbage man grabbed the shell sub, and they were literally like meters, if not yards, away from each other. And Donnie decides to fire a torpedo at point blank range, and almost risk imploding not only themselves, well, not only the garbage man, but themselves as well, which I found a bit like, guys, did you really think that through? Like, surely, I know Donnie's pretty good at building stuff, but he could have literally imploded the shell sub in two with that risky shot, but it worked in the end. But yeah, no, I thought it was really cool just to see them fight it out underwater and just to see um, how it all went down. But to be honest, I felt like they could have had a bit more. Like, I really wished we could have seen a lot of like torpedo explosions, depth charge explosions, a bit more action within that scene. I don't know if that's the same thing with you, but I would have liked to seen a lot more of it.
Yeah, I mean, oh, okay. So for some things which I found interesting, so got the first one, the like claws which the garbage man had on the truck fit or the submarine. They look like mouse heads, like big giant ones, which I don't know if that was intentional or what, but I do quite enjoy that. I don't know if that was something you picked up on. Um, and then like some other weird bits. You got when Don pulls out the three torpedoes. I like how Gashman just goes up to them, then stops, and then waits for them to go off before go. Oh no! It's like he had opportunities to survive that or actually not take any damage, but yet he just chose to sit there. That that's sort of a mood I want to say. um,
Yeah, to be honest, it was a pretty dumb move of him to do so. Like, he could have just moved out of the way, and then
yeah.
he then failed to his demise. Like, there were so many other ways he could have prevented that, but of course, it wouldn't have added to the story, I guess.
Yeah, I have to say that also, like going off your point about the whole fight scene, I I do wish it was a bit longer, and I do wish there was a lot more that really happened than just sort of just moving around and shooting some stuff every once in a while. I do feel like there was a lot of opportunities which they could have had to extend this fight scene, make it a bit more interesting and fascinating. And I just want to say that is bad because I feel like because it's a such a very different and much more unique fight scene compared to others, whereas in a submarine it was a lot more fun and interesting. But I felt like it was just a bit too safe. I think that might be the best way to describe it. Where I didn't want to go like fully in with it to make it like the best fight ever, but they just played it safe just bit and did some decent stuff. But also at the same time, I don't really know how much more they could have done to make it more entertaining without it just becoming like a fist fight. Because even though it was cool to see like all the submarines doing all kind of stuff, I do feel like there's definitely limitations to what they could do. So I feel like this bit was probably doomed from the start because there's no way you can make it more entertaining without extending it, making it a bit boring without doing other stuff. So it's probably the best we could have gotten. But but I'd say it definitely just feel like a lot more could have happened. Um, so yeah. So after that, the turtles come home, and yeah. So do you have anything to say about that a little bit there?
Um, to be honest, I've not really. After the turtles got home, and Donnie and Mikey returned, and then Raphael and Leo was like they weren't as concerned as they would have been because to think they went down several hours ago in this like homemade submarine and hadn't been tested before until now. And I'm surprised Raphael and Leo weren't like freaking out and say, "Oh my god, it's been several hours. How much air do they have? It's like, what has happened? We need to go down there and save them." Like they would just say, "Yeah, no, they'll be fine." I trust Donnie's inventions. Like surely they would have had a bit more concern. And of course, when they surface, like, "Oh my gosh, what happened to your submarine? Why is there giant mouths of claws sticking out of it? Like, what actually happened?" There wasn't like a massive shock sort of thing that they had. So yeah, I can't really say much apart from that. So, but it was kind of funny that Donnie said, "Oh, it was a long story. Like, have you got time?" You know, it was one of those sort of scenes. But yeah, no. Apart from that, I don't really have too much to say. It was one of those scenes, I guess, where it's like, okay, they survived, and they're back on dry land. It's just, yeah, I don't really have too much to say, unfortunately.
Yeah, I got nothing else to really say. It's just like one of those scenes to add on to just give them an ending, and it did its job. Yeah.
Yeah, it did its job, I guess.
Yeah. So, what do you think about this episode overall?
Overall, I thought this was a pretty cool episode. We got to see an old foe, the garbage man. We got to see a whole different world underwater. We got to see like the whole Atlantis sort of thing, which I really did enjoy. And the only reason why I rank it so high for this episode as one of my top 10 is because of like the whole story, the whole theme of being underwater, and the whole mythical idea of Atlantis just being used, because I really do enjoy like the whole mythology sort of thing of like the underwater city of Atlantis and the exploration of underwater adventures. That's the only reason why I rank it so high. And of course, I really did enjoy like how the garbage man was like shown in this as like a king crab sort of thing. And apart from that, I would say there wasn't really much to else to say. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the dogfights of the underwater scenes, but I really wish there was a bit more of it. But yeah, that's all for me, really.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say that I think that this episode had a lot of very interesting and fascinating things within this episode, in terms of like the concepts and ideas that they do present in terms of in like imagination, such as like the garbage man and the junk lanterns. I think that like bring those back and doing some interesting things there. I was all on board for that, but I think that when you actually look at stuff that actually happens in the actual episode itself, I think it's very disappointing. And like I was saying at the beginning of this episode, I do feel like this episode was very fillery. It doesn't add anything to the story or anything like that. And with how fast they go throughout this episode, going from one bit to the next, we're not really taking too much of a break to really just like take a step back and be like, okay, so we need to do this because of this. It felt like it was going at too much of a fast pace, and I wish I could be a bit more positive because there's a lot of stuff which I do enjoy about this episode and stuff which I do want to enjoy, but it's just a massive letdown for me. So yeah, okay. Do you want to hear some trivia for this episode?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so this is the second and last appearance of the Garbage Man. Monkey's line to Dawn, "Aren't you all sure to be for a junk trooper?" is reference to Princess Leia's line to Luke Skywalker from Star Wars Episode 5 or New Hope. Is that 4 or
Really?
5?
I didn't notice that really. Like now that you say it, it's a
I
bit
thought that was an
obvious.
obvious one.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, no, that I do realize how they put that in there. That is pretty cool of them to do so.
Monkey calls Don Boy Wonder, which is reference to Robin, Batman's sidekick. Please tell me you got that one.
I was gonna say, Boy Wonder. That reminds me of something, but I didn't know where. Couldn't remember where it was from, which was the most annoying thing. But now that you've told me, I can definitely confirm. It's like okay,
Uh,
that
you're supposed to be a nerd, right?
I am okay. It was a subtle thing. I might have not heard it properly. I just wanted to make sure before I started blurting stuff out and saying, okay, that's definitely from this, and get it all wrong in the end, you know?
Good excuse. Okay, so this is
Exactly.
this is the second time Garbage Man falls off a cliff. This time underwater and is killed off for good. But like originally, that he wasn't supposed to be killed off, but because he was supposed to return in season 5, for an episode where he's revealed to be Han's brother, but because it
What?
didn't, yeah, we sort of talked about it last time, and he was supposed to be killed off then by acid, but because the episode was too dark, they cancelled it. So now this is the official ending for his character.
That
Uh,
sucks.
yeah, this is
I
the only
understand why.
this is the only episode where we're told don't have the weapons the whole episode. Um. Oh. Oh yeah. That's weird. Like, we're told not having the weapons. Any opinions on that? Because that is strange. What I say that also did like affect the episode where it struggles to be a normal episode where Godzilla being themselves. It's weird.
Yeah, no, to be honest, it was very weird to see them not go with their weapons. Like, the Ninja Turtles always go with weapons, like, and now they didn't. So it was very weird. I guess they wasn't, like, expecting to go and fight the garbage man again. Like, it was a
Yeah.
test flight for this submarine, and they thinking, oh, we're gonna go out there like 20 minutes, we're not gonna go far, and then boom, they get swallowed up by a giant robotic whale, and then they go fight the garbage man. I don't think they were expecting that. I think.
Well, maybe they should have. It's turtles. What do I
Yeah.
expect?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'd say it was weird, like, especially with like Leo not having his belt across his chest. That was weird. Um, okay, so for the cast, we've got Donatello voiced by Sam Riegel, Garbage Man voiced by Mike Pollock, Michelangelo voiced by Wayne Grayson, the Garbage Man's guards and junk technicians, they were voiced by various people. I think one point there were said that they were voiced by Mark Thompson, Leonardo voiced by Michael St. Nicholas, Raphael voiced by Frank Frankson, also known as Greg Abbey, Spencer voiced by Darren Dunstan. The people at the beginning of the episode, they don't have, they're not listed, so I'm not too sure who they're voiced by. Okay, now for the next episode. So, next episode is called The Golden Puck. What do you think is going to happen in that episode?
The golden puck, as in like a hockey puck.
Correct?
Like, okay, I was gonna say, hot golden puck. I don't know why, but when you said like the golden puck, I thought you meant like the golden pixie from like Harry Potter, something like that. Don't know why, just really thought of that for some reason. The golden puck. Okay, so it's something to do with a hockey puck. So I'm thinking it's something to do with Casey Jones because Casey loves his hockey. It's his whole thing basically. So I think it's a Casey Jones episode, and I think this golden puck is going to be like his one shot or something, like his one shot to be like a true, I want to say he's a true hero, but maybe this is like how he's developed like a stronger like skill and how he's training, and he's going to use this one golden hockey puck to like save the day, perhaps.
Uh, Not really.
No.
No. Um, it's a very good episode. It's just not what I don't think it's what you're expecting. But with that in mind, who do you think is going to be starting the episode?
Um. Okay. So it's something to do with Casey Jones, golden puck, hockey puck. Casey Jones and Raphael, good friends. So maybe I want to say Raphael because Raphael and Casey Jones are like two peas in a pod. They're like brothers in this sort of way. So I'm thinking Raphael might narrate Casey Jones' like story a bit, but yeah, I'm not too sure. So I'm thinking we're gonna go with Raphael.
Is that your final answer?
Oh,
Are you sure about Raf?
God, you make me question now. Great. Yeah, I'm gonna go all in Raphael.
You're wrong.
Ah,
Would you like another guess?
oh, something to do with Casey Jones. Is it? No, I can't. Can I ask a question? Can I?
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
I
go
do
on.
that? Is it? Is it one of the turtles?
No.
Okay, not one of the turtles. Okay, this. Okay, I want to say maybe April then.
It's Casey.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me, Casey.
You said his name so many times and didn't think once, like, oh, it could be Casey.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, no, that didn't cross my mind at that point. My brain was somewhere else.
You said his name so many times. Oh, that's amazing. But yeah, do you have anything else to say about this episode, or it's all done with this one?
No, I'm pretty much done for this episode. I've said what I've needed to say.
Yeah, fuck, it's all sorted out with this one. So, yeah, this has been an episode of Talking Tales. I've been your host, Teddy,
And I've been Hayden.
and we'll see you soon. Goodbye, yo, bye.
Bye.
And we are done.
Sweet. Can't believe I didn't pick that up. Casey Jones, Golden Puck. Yeah,
It's pretty obvious now, isn't it?
yeah, pretty obvious. My brain was thinking overtime again. My brain just wanders, as you probably well already know.
Yeah.